This video is brought to you by
The Crazy Aquarium Guy.
Hello fish lovers, welcome to Sax Tags, Crazy Aquarium Guy. Today we're going to take a look at my fancy goldfish aquarium. It was a long time ago since I did an update and they look super good, and we're going to talk about how to feed them and what to feed them and what I feed them. So stay tuned guys. So it was a long time ago, so I thought it was time to do an update on my fancy goldfish. 75-gallon tank, 2 canister filters, fluval LED lights. This is a red Ryukin, Ryukin Calico, and a black Oranda. They're pretty big and healthy looking. And they appear to be hungry. Let me set up the tripod and we can feed them. Sorry about the glare guys, but it's always gonna be some glare in the fish room unless I wait until all the other tanks are out. But then you're gonna see the reaction on the fish, because then I keep their lights on. And then they don't like that because I run timers on all my tanks. So I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna feed the goldfish. And of course now I have an auto feeder on all my tanks. And this is the food that I mainly give to the goldfish. It's New Life Spectrum cichlid formula. It's a great food. Anytime you see a Tropheus on the picture, it's pretty much a great food for a goldfish. With that said, I'm sure there is one food type out there that is not good for goldfish, but it's good for Tropheus, but I haven't found one yet, at least. So this is a really good food for them, lots of greens in it. So it's very rare to see them get constipated on this food. It's very small. That's also good. So I also feed them Repashy goldfish, what is it called? I always forget, but Dandy Oranda goldfish mix, and Repashy Soylent Green and Super Green. But this is the main food. And this was a lot. I'm gonna actually turn the filters off so they don't suck up all the food. And another food that's really good for goldfish is Hikari Sinking Cichlid XL. See Tropheus here? So this is cheaper, but I don't know if I like it as much as the New Life Spectrum. But it is cheaper, but it also makes the water smell a lot faster. So if you want to keep a clean tank, I think you should go with the cichlid formula from New Life Spectrum. And this food is really expensive. That is why people don't like. They think it's crazy that you buy this for goldfish when goldfish eat everything. But if you buy big buckets like I do, you come down in price with like 60 or 70%, at least where I live. If you compare it to the small cans that you buy New Life Spectrum like this, now it's like 125 grams. This is 2 kilos. 2 kilo is basically 4.5 pounds. So everybody doesn't need 4.5 pounds, but they have like 800 grams and other sizes that also come down in price a lot compared to the super small ones. So I'm gonna make sure all this food sinks down, because this is sort of like it is a sinking food, but because it's so small, it doesn't weigh enough to completely sink down all the time. So I don't have to feed them this amount. I can just feed them a tiny bit 4 times a day with the auto feeder and they will look great. But if you really want them to grow, you need to power feed them once in a while. It's always a risk with fancy goldfish because they can get constipated, but if you're gonna power feed them with something that's super good. That's gonna be a lot of fiber in it. So I usually power feed them with this New Life Spectrum cichlid formula, the Rapashi, actually not the goldfish mix, because I use the super green mix if I'm gonna power feed them, because it's even more fibers in that one. It's krill and stuff in the dandy Oranda food, and that's good because it's gonna enhance colors, but it's not the best one to power feed because, yeah, they're not gonna digest it as easily. I think they got a little bit weirded off when I turned off the filters, unfortunately, but they look super good. And I put in this microsorum plant right here because I'm still waiting for the cryptocoryne aponogetifolia, which won't grow for me, and when it starts growing the goldfish starts to eat it. But it's not because the goldfish eat it, because I've been keeping tons of cryptocorynes with goldfish. It's probably that my water isn't hard enough. Usually with goldfish I keep crushed coral in the substrate, but I do it here as well, some rough crushed coral, but not a lot, maybe a kilo in this tank. And usually I buy the sand version and mix it up, so half the sand is crushed coral, but in this one it's just cichlid sand and, like I said, a kilo of crushed coral. And the cryptocoryne aponogetifolia, this plant really likes hard water, so I think that's the reason why it's not taking off, because it's not the lighting. The lighting is 2 Fluwel 2.0s. So 90 watts of Fluwel 2.0, and if you don't notice, the 2.0 is stronger than the 3.0. So it's not like, oh, but it's only the 2.0. The 2.0 is super strong. So 2 of them, and the microsorum has only been in here for like 10 days and didn't look as hot, but it is loving the 2 Fluwel 2.0s. So it's not nitrates, it's not other things that won't grow the cryptocoryne over here. It's something else. So it has to be that the water isn't hard enough, because I can't think of anything else. And it's the same thing with the cryptocoryne parva. That plant grows super slow always, but I mean in this tank it's almost like it's petrified. Do you say that? Petrified? No? I don't know. Doesn't happen. Anything happens with it. Just stay still. I'm gonna turn on the filters again because they look so scared. I want them to be swimming around and having a good time. So be really careful when you feed goldfish. Like I said, this was power feeding because they only get tiny amounts 4 times a day from the auto feeder. And when I come home on the weekends, I do one big feeding just to mix it up a little bit, get some growth out of them. But when I do that, I do take the auto feeder off the next day, so I don't feed them too much by accident. So yeah, it was a long time ago I did an update on the goldfish, so I thought it was due. But the problem is that I was waiting for the cryptocoryne to get huge, because when it does grow and it looks good, it grows pretty fast and it looks amazing, but apparently I can't grow it in this aquarium. So I don't know. But the goldfish look amazing, and the next step is probably to take the Siamese algae eaters out, because they can harass goldfish. I have been having those problems before. Usually if you feed a lot they don't do that, but if they start to get less food they can be a bit nippy on the fins on goldfish. So I just put them in because I threw on 2 fluval LEDs, and that is obviously high light, onto an aquarium where it's going to produce a lot of waste from the goldfish, and I didn't have a lot of plants. So I had to have something. And it's also like 5 ancestral plecos in here. Not fully grown by any means, but still. So I'm going to take all the ancestral plecos out and all the Siamese algae eaters out. Probably. Because, yeah, you never know with goldfish. All of a sudden, never happened to me with ancestral plecos, but people say they can get used to sucking on the slime coat of goldfish. And I think that is just when you don't feed them enough, really. Because, yeah. And maybe the same thing with the Siamese algae eaters. You keep them because, and you want to starve them so they eat all the algae in the aquarium. But if you don't feed them, they're gonna get hungry and they're gonna get, you say mean, but they're not mean, they're just hungry. And the fish go back to the instinct. They will pick on a big, nice fish like a goldfish, if they have to. So, beautiful goldfish, I love them, but this is the only 3 ones I have right now. So, you guys need to help me with suggestions, because I want to keep something else in this aquarium. It has a beautiful, almost carpet with different cryptocoryne plants, crystal clear water and everything, but I don't know what I want to keep in there. So, suggestions on fish. It's a, what is it, 55 gallon cube or 60 gallon cube, something like that. 60 gallon cube, I think. So come up with suggestions. Not like an Oscar or anything like that, because I think a 60 gallon cube is too small for that. But other than that, other than the super big fish, I'm open to suggestions because I really don't know. Okay, I'm gonna let them keep eating. They look really good and healthy. So, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.